Have you ever been playing a game with great pacing and a normal learning curve, and then it just slaps you in the face with something that is so unbelievably OP that there is nothing stopping it? Yeah, I think we've all been there. Overpowered things are in every video game. Whether it's a character, weapon, ability, enemy, or a combination of the bunch, we've used them, and we've hated them. So today, I'll be counting down my personal top 10 most OP things in video games. Keep in mind that these are from my own personal experiences and / or knowledge, so it's not to be taken too seriously. Without further ado, let's get started. If you've played any competitive game, then you know that some things are certainly better than others. As for me, I'm known to play little Pokemon VGC, which is the official battling format which involves having a team of 6 Pokemon and bringing 4 based on your opponent and facing them in a double battle. This is where the overpowered stuff comes in. Every VGC team ever. Well, I'd say that's exaggerating a bit, but there are certainly some very overpowered strategies. For example, Talonflame, Kalos' main bird Pokemon, has the ability Gale Wings, which makes any of its flying type moves go first. It's so overpowered because almost every Talonflame has it, and it can just brave bird you to death if you're not prepared for it. Another popular strategy is Perish Trap, which involves a Pokemon with the ability Shadow Tag using Perish Song, and since nobody can switch out, you're basically forced to sit there and wait for your Pokemon to get KO'd. There's barely any counters to it, which is why it's so OP. See that? That right there is why I can't climb the showdown ladder. Ever since the announcement of Fallout 4, I've been revisiting some of the previous games in the franchise, specifically New Vegas. I would play Fallout 3, but I'm completely broke. In Fallout 3, there's a secret weapon you could obtain called the Fat Man. It's your standard rocket launcher that shoots mini nuclear bombs. Is this practical in real life at all? Heck no, but who cares if you can just one-shot everything? See that Deathclaw? Boom. Dead. How about that group of geckos? Boom. Dead. How about these innocent civilians? Boom! Dead. Probably should have rethinked that last one. The only reason this weapon is so low on the list is because it's very difficult to obtain and you get it very late in the game. Also, it's very heavy and ammo for it is very scarce, so even if you had one, it wouldn't be too practical to keep it around. Otherwise, nuclear explosions from your shoulder? Okay by my standards. I think we'd learn our lesson about nuclear weapons at this point, but, you know, whatever. Who's surprised to see a Zelda game on this list? Not me. It's no secret that Majora's Mask has a lot of, well, masks. If for some reason you haven't figured out what I'm talking about at this point, the Fierce Deity's mask is the last mask you get in the game, requiring you to have obtained every other mask in the game. It makes you insanely overpowered, however, the reason it's so low on the list is because you get it at a point where you've basically beaten the game besides the final boss fight, and the mask can only be used during boss fights, making it useless. In the original game, there are glitches to use it outside of battle, which sadly can't be done in the 3DS remakes, but it makes every boss fight insanely easy but serves no real purpose other than speculating why it exists and setting Majora's boss fight on easy mode. If only you could use it more than just in boss fights. There was one game in particular that gave me the idea for this list, and that is Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. The campaign was very short, so I ended up having to play Deathmatch and other assorted minigames. In Deathmatch, you can choose from any member of the Griffin family, so naturally I choose Stewie because who doesn't like talking babies? Stewie's Railgun is literally the best weapon in the game. All it takes is one laser to hit anybody and immediately vaporize them to dust. Other characters have regular guns, but they just don't get the job done like Stewie does. On a side note, Capture the Greased Up Deaf Guy should be a staple in every video game. Ever. No questions asked. Ever since they were created, the Ninja Turtles have been a huge icon in pop culture, so it's no surprise that they would get their own video game. TMNT for the NES had very mixed reviews, and to put it simply, it just was not that good of a game.
Cow a fucking piece of dog shit.
Yeah, that basically sums this game up. The game is extremely difficult, and the way it was programmed involved a lot of respawning enemies and difficult things to do in general. This is where Donatello's staff comes in. Donatello's staff is able to reach places the other turtles can't reach, and it makes certain areas like this one much easier to get by, especially if you keep having to backtrack. Donatello has more range than the other turtles, which makes combat much easier. See, stuff like this is why Donatello's my favorite Ninja Turtle. He doesn't need a fancy sword or nunchucks, he just bludgeons things to death with a stick.
Cowabunga! Cowabunga!
hey, look at me, I play Smash with items. Evo can suck it! Nah, but really. If you're a filthy casual like me, then you probably play Smash Brothers with items, and that's something the competitive scene doesn't see. Smash Brothers has a lot of OP items. There's the assist trophy, the X-Bomb, and of course, the Pokeball.
Wombo combo!
But by far, the best item in Smash Brothers is the hammer. This thing can KO even at low percentages. However, items aren't the only overpowered thing in Smash. There's always going to be characters that are better than others. Smash Bros. 4 has Donkey Kong's custom moveset, Game & Watch's oil combo, and the good old hoo-ha before they patched him. Meta Knight was everybody's main man in Brawl, and in Melee, and basically every game after that, Fox, Falco, and Captain Falcon, among others, are sickeningly overpowered. Any character can be good if you know how to use them correctly, so I'm gonna stick with items in this spot on the list. You guys wanna hear a secret? I main Little Mac.
Let the hate comments roll in!
Ah, Goldeneye. You remind me of a time that I was unable to experience. A time when licensed games didn't suck. Goldeneye for the Nintendo 64 revolutionized the first-person shooter genre, and if you don't agree with that, then you should stop playing Call of Duty, like now. As most first-person shooters have, Goldeneye had a deathmatch mode. This brings us to the characters. Oddjob is the kind of character that, if your friend picked him to win a bet, you would lose that bet. Wait, what did I just say? Oddjob is the shortest character in the game, which is weird considering he was normal sized in the films. What's wrong with him being short, you ask? Well, the controls in this game are so wonky that it is near to impossible to shoot him or even punch him. In the time you're trying to aim, Oddjob can just come up to you and punch you to death while your character is having a seizure trying to figure out what the heck is going on. It's basically a guaranteed win if you choose Oddjob, which is why he comes in at number 4. With every new Mario Kart iteration, there is bound to be new items. Mario Kart 8 introduced the horn. When this thing is used, it destroys everything around you, even blue shells. Oh yeah, you thought blue shells were bad? It's got nothing on the horn. When you get it, it's best to save it until you get into any potential blue shell situation so they don't get in your way. It's also very useful to stop people who are tailing you trying to get a boost. You can just BOOM!
Oh my god, my ears are bleeding from this noise, but it's so satisfying!
Being a zombie survival game where most weapons are balanced, you wouldn't expect Unturned to be on this list. Unturned has a lot of weapons like the crossbow and all of the guns you can find at the military base, but there is one weapon that stands out among the rest. The Railgun, or Shadow Stalker as it's called in the game, is the rarest and most powerful weapon in the game. It can only be found at the southeast part of the map in a facility known as Scorpion 7. This thing does mad damage. It can one-shot zombies as well as other players, and my friends and I tried testing it on a Mega Zombie, and this happened. Now remember, kids, when the zombie outbreak hits, go to a secret government facility that tests highly dangerous experimental weaponry. It'll totally go according to plan. Lately, as of writing the script for this video, I've been playing a lot of Skyrim, and a friend of mine gave me the idea to put this weapon on the list. Skyrim alone is filled with, how should I put it, stuff. But the Dragonborn DLC adds even more of said stuff. The Champions Kajal is a warhammer only available in the Dragonborn DLC. It alone deals massive damage, but the enchantments are the icing on the cake. When used, the Champions Kajal has a 50% chance to deal fire, shock, or frost damage, which definitely comes in handy. It's basically the tri-attack of Skyrim weapons. I tell you, man, it's like the 3 legendary birds came out of slumber and were like, hey, we gotta make a hammer. Then Spyro comes in and is like, yo dog, I got Spyro magic, and they combine their powers together to make a hammer used for death and destruction. This weapon makes me wish I had money to buy the DLC, and if you ask me, it is certainly the most overpowered thing in video games because honestly, what did you expect from a game that has you absorbing the souls of your dragon brethren? Hey everybody, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed this video at any point, then please consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more content, then please consider subscribing. Also, follow me on Twitter for, all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, my name is Matt, aka ChunkyMonkeyGames, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.